Hey, welcome out. It's a very steamy day, so we're going to shorten things up. Not a lot of wagering period per usual. So when they head to the gate, they mean it. So no circling, nothing like that. So they'll be out on the track usually around 3 minutes before post time. You'll get to see them briefly, regular post period. They'll walk by and whatnot. Then they'll be going to the gate pretty much post haste all day to try to beat the real bad heat that's coming up. I'll have today's changes in the next couple of minutes. Right now, those of you on track, if you are able, take off those hats and please stand for the national anthem. Race 1, just 30 minutes away. Let's give you the changes real quick and catch them on the bottom of your TV screens if you have your glasses. All right, here we go. Race number 1. 1 pound over on the 2 are Juju. Blinkers on number 3, Army Medic. Scratch out number 6, Surprising Love. In the second race, just scratch number 4, Scotch No Rocks. Second race, the 4 is scratched. Third race, scratch out my long shot play of the early pick 5. Number 3's Energy Unbridled. The 3 is out of race number 3. In the fourth race, an overweight on the outside runner, Epic Prankster, just 1 pound over on number 6 in the fourth race. Fifth race, there are no changes. In the sixth race, we have 2 defections. Scratch number 3, Hanabi, and number 6, Amor de la Vie. The 3 and the 6 are scratched from today's sixth race. Seventh race, 2 scratches again. Number 4, Tricky Moment, has been scratched, and so has the 7, Alvin. 4 and 7 are scratched from the 7th race. Eighth and final race, scratch out the 3, Wampus Kitten. I think Peter has some birthday notifications later on in the day or what have you. Peter Lurie, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good, Keith Nelson, and how are you today? In fact, how is everybody doing? As Keith mentioned, it's going to be very, very warm. In fact, it's going to be warm all the way. I feel like should I do it like this? It's going to be very, very warm the whole week. I feel like a weather reporter. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. So by all means, remember, hydration is the key. If you're just joining us, quick post parades. As Keith mentioned, they're going to be leaving the paddock around 3 minutes to post, and they're going to not dawdle, head right to the starting gates. So you're going to want to make sure if you're wagering, you got to wager early, okay? Also, shout out to our friends watching us on our new YouTube channel. All you have to do is go on the streaming services. It's free. Go to YouTube. When you hit it, just say, go as a guest. It doesn't cost anything. Then you just got to go to Fairmount Park Horse Racing, tap on that on the search, and it's going to go right to us. So it's going to be a much easier way if you can't make it out to the track. But we certainly hope you come out. He mentioned birthdays. Hey, we do have a birthday. Our own Frank Frankie Controne, the junior, by the way, who is the clerk of scales here at Fairmount Park. It is his birthday today. I hear he is now old enough to have an alcoholic beverage. So if the races, if you want to buy this 21-year-old an alcoholic beverage, by all means. A lot of people right now going, yeah, right. Also, a first in race number 3. Race number 3, mark your programs. The 5-horse Instastar for Ralph Martinez. He is also co-owner. He is putting his son, Brody Martinez, will make his very first mount, his racing debut, right here in race number 3. He is the 2-to-1, I believe, second choice in the wagering. And something tells me today other jockeys are going to have their buckets of water and talcum powder, because I think this horse has a big shot this afternoon. So good luck to Brody, good luck to Ralph, good luck to his wife Erica, or I should say mom and dad. Have yourself just ready for a very emotional day down in the winner's circle. As you know, Alexander Bendesu, leading rider, Scotty Becker, also leading trainer. And really, that's all I got for you here. We got literally about 15 minutes to post. It's going to be a lot of fun. 15 minutes to post. No, 15 minutes till I come back. It's one of those days. All I can say is on behalf of Keith Nelson, on behalf of the whole team and Excel Entertainment, we'd like to welcome you to a warm, steamy Fairmount Park.
Peter Lurie will be back up here in just a little bit here, just a couple of minutes. In race number 1, I mentioned to you the 3 Army Medic down in the paddock. There will be no changes as far as equipment goes. The blinkers will remain off. The program says otherwise, but there will be no equipment changes on number 3 Army Medic. Again, the 2 are Juju is 1 pound over and Scratch the 6. In the 3rd race, where apprentice rider Brody Martinez, son of Ralph Martinez, will be riding for the very first time aboard number 5 Instastar. That's in the 3rd race. Please make a notification. He will not be using a riding crop.
Welcome back, everybody. 11 minutes to post for the opener here. Peter Lurie with you, and looking forward to a nice little solid 8-race card. Reminder again, very, very warm today, very humid. So what we're going to be doing is the horses are going to be leaving the paddock at about 3 minutes to post and going directly to the gate. What that means is, by all means, make sure you wager early. We don't want anybody getting shut out. Kicking things off here for the early 50-cent pick 5 and the $1 pick 3. We're looking at a 6 furlongs race at maiden special weights. These are the ladies, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. Let's take a look at the horses down in the paddock. As far as the horses are concerned, horse right in front of you to me looks like the horse you got to beat, and that is the 4, Sweet Skylar. I believe Keith and I both have it as the top horse. Scott Becker sending out for his partner, Charles Ritter, and himself. They did not breed this one. They actually bought it at Fasig-Tipton in 2024 for a very reasonable $1,000. And now is competing for the 3rd time at the maiden special weight. This horse has been a runner-up in the last 2 races, so it'll be interesting to see if there is any change in their tactics. This horse likes to get out in front, but to be fair, they've had a lot of competition. Horses on their throat latch the whole way around in both cases. So if they can just get clear, or at least with the fact you got Army Medic, who appears to be speed, but on the inside of them, maybe that gives them a chance to do a little what we like to call just kind of hanging on the outside of them, just tracking and making one move around the turn. Could be. As far as the 3 is concerned, that is Army Medic. And Army Medic is an interesting horse. Last time out, coming in from Gulfstream Park, used to be in the Heather Smullen barn, Heather Arian sends this one out, and you'd say, well, didn't seem to care one bit. Nah, the horse was bumped, clipped heels, and then kind of rushed up. So the fact that they come right back at that same condition tells me that it was not a good effort for this horse. They did not get a fair shake, so why not give them another shot? They were well meant that day, currently at 4-1. And there is Heather, as you can see, saddling on the walk. I've talked about this before on the broadcast. It's a common thing. There are a lot of horses that if they have to sit in the stall and get tacked up, they get a little antsy and sometimes they lose their cool. If you tack them while they're on the walk, they tend to be a lot more relaxed, and that seems to be the case right now. Heather Arian, she's a very good horsewoman, and as you can see, looks like she's doing okay, although I know this one's acting up a little bit, but not really. I mean, the ears are going forward. Heather's doing a really nice job. Army Medic's got the speed, and if they can get a clean trip, this is definitely a horse you might want to include in the early pick 5. Move our attention over to the 5, Miss Savannah, another of the Scotty Becker trainees. This one for Charles Ritter and himself. Another one they did not breed. $5,000 Phasic tipped in August of 24 purchase. This 3-year-old daughter of Known Agenda. Work-wise, the works have been okay. 49-2 on June 5th from the gate, so that cleared the horse. And then a 49-4 on June 20th in preparation for this race. As far as the works are concerned, Scott usually about 8% with his first-time starters, and that's based on a sample of 77 to date. Looks nice and relaxed. Doesn't seem like a first-time starter. Very, very relaxed, looks good, ears kind of going back and forth. Positive sign, being very aware. Rounding out the top 4 in this field of 6 is the 7, In Spite of Zoom, for owner-trainer Wesley Cook. Wesley's also the breeder of this one, an Arkansas bred, who made the debut on June 10th over Churchill Downs on the turf at 93-1. I don't think they were expecting a lot. This horse got steadied early in the race and then just kind of backed out of it. So it's not something that I'd be worrying too much about. It'll be interesting to see how they play out. The last 2 works on June 3rd and June 22nd were both bullet drills, both best of the day. Although, to be fair, there were only a few going out that morning. But that's an indication this horse could be up for a big effort. Wesley Cook does have a win in 9 starts here at the racetrack. He's 7% out of 15 starters as a shipper. And from turf to dirt, well, he's only done it 3 times before and is yet to win, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. So the early pick 5, I'm going to use the 3 and the 4, Army Medic and Sweet Skylar. I see it 4, 3, 5, 7, but we're going to put the 4, Sweet Skylar. Hopefully a very sweet way to start our opening Tuesday. Good luck.
Race number 1 changes in case you just dropped by. The 2 is 1 pound over. No equipment change on the 3 Army Medic. The blinkers are off, so no equipment changes on the 3. And scratch number 6, Surprising Love. Win, place, show wagering available. Also, you have the 50-cent Pig 5 sequence that starts with the opener. 6 furlongs for maiden fillies and mares. Maiden allowance sorts, 3 years of age and up. Yes, YouTube you can find us on. If you just want to hang out, watch the races, you can watch them on the YouTube channel, Fairmount Park Racing. Hit the live icon, and there you go. You can sit through this day like we all are going to sit through this day, except for the 2-legged and 4-legged athletes. Best of luck to you this afternoon. I'll keep you apprised of any changes that break loose. Less than 2 minutes until the opener. You have less than 1 minute. They're headed to the starting gate. Final wagers for the first and the 50-cent Pig 5. It will be this quick today, so make sure you get those wagers in as soon as possible. Loading in first with Juliet P. and Sweet Skylar. Our Juju, Miss Savannah. Army Medic will be the last one in. Happy birthday to our clerk of scales today, Frankie Patron. Best dressed man at the track. Still waiting on Army Medic. And now Juliet P. is looking to the left. All right, flag is up, ready to go. And they're off. Swift beginning right in the center for Sweet Skylar, but none better than In Spite of Zoom. Sweet Skylar tracking second. Third along the fence is Army Medic. Then the bottom trio featuring Juliet P. Right between is our Juju, and on the outside is Miss Savannah. They work their way down the back stretch. Towards the 3/8 pole they go in the opener, and it's Sweet Skylar. Off odds 3-5 in the last click, out by a length from In Spite of Zoom, tracking second. Guided off that rail for an extended run is Army Medic. Then well back to the other trio. Our Juju, Miss Savannah, and Juliet P. brings up the rear. Around the turn, past the 550 they go. It's still Sweet Skylar by a tentative neck. In Spite of Zoom, tracking, but wants to get out. Here comes Army Medic to swoop on the far outside. Nothing from the bottom end trio past the 3/16 pole. It's Sweet Skylar, still clinging to a length and a half cushion from In Spite of Zoom. Here comes a threat. Army Medic is gaining, but wants to go in. Army Medic in search of Sweet Skylar. Sweet Skylar got it done. Army Medic second, In Spite of Zoom third, then well back to Juliet P. Race 3 is now official. Running time for your winner, Sweet Skylar, 6 furlongs, a minute 12 and 1/5 of a second, 1:12.35 seconds. The 6 was scratched from the opening race. Into the winner's circle steps Sweet Skylar, number 4, and rider Victor Santiago. Co-owned by Charles Ritter and Scott Becker. Scott Becker, the trainer, 3-year-old daughter of Cloud Computing, out of the pure prize mare Mimi Sugar, bred in Kentucky by Virginia Moore and Malia Hopkins. In our second race, we travel the same 6 furlong distance, $4,000 the claiming price, non-winners of 2 races thus far in 2026. The 4, Scotch No Rocks, has been scratched. Post time for the second race in 18 minutes.
Welcome back, everybody. 14 minutes to post for race number 2, second half of the early double, start of a $1 pick 3, and yes, a $1 pick 4. We're looking at 6 furlongs. These are 4,000 non-winners of 2 in a year. Horses are getting close to coming down into the paddock. Let's take a look at the runners. Horse in front of us there is a top selection for yours truly. I'm just not sure. A lot of opportunities here for Dundee. Not the crocodile hunter, but the horse. Looks to be in a good spot. Coming off a layoff from Tampa, and that's the only concern. But I can say, Scotty Becker, 22% getting these 90 days or longer in, and that's based on a sample of 158. So I think that can definitely be used. Also, this horse, as far as shippers are concerned, 19% from 183 of them to date. Second after the claim, because he did take this horse back in January 3rd to be exact. He hits at 25%, but it's not really a number we can use. It's based on a sample of 8, so I wouldn't read too much into that. Johannes Arengaren gets the call for the first time. This horse has shown they can have speed, doesn't necessarily need it, which I think is great because the inside 2 horses definitely have speed. And I think what that does is gives this horse a tactical advantage. They can just stay on the outside, hang on the flank, and hopefully make one run around the turn, and that's good enough to get done. As we did mention, it is a warm, humid afternoon here, so you want to make sure plenty hydration. As you can see, our 4-legged friends are also getting plenty of hydration as they are getting ready to come on over to get tacked up. Second horse for me will be Dylan Rocks, a 10-year-old son of Painter. Yes, he is a gelding, a 4 for 15 at the distance, 3 seconds, 4 thirds. 11 of the 15 have hit the board. If you believe in the Brisnet Speed Index numbers, and I definitely do, this is a horse who definitely is in the mix as far as the field concerned. And they, very similar to what we were talking about Dundee, they've got speed, but they don't need to be on the leads. So they're probably going to be sitting, like the aforementioned Dundee, off of the flanks of whoever does go. This could be for a very interesting move around the turn. As far as the rest of the field is concerned, the 6 Good Scalp, this is one that might benefit if everybody decides to go in knocking heads. It looks like their best efforts is when they can sit in that second flight for trainer Fernando Bahina, a 9-year-old son of Oxbow, who is 5 for 26 at the distance. 14 of the 26 have hit the board and possesses one of the top Brisnet speed indexes in the group. Javier Tavares, whose business definitely has been picking up over the last couple of days, gets the call. And I won't be surprised if this horse is right there. Will not be surprised whatsoever. Rounding out the group is the 1. Bit of a price here for Marvell Straub. Sonny is not so funny. Well, I'm hoping is hysterical. 7-year-old son of American Freedom. Your grandsire is Pulpit. This is another one. These are all very competitive horses. 7 for 36 in the winner's circle at the distance of 6 furlongs. 18 of the 36 at 15%, 50% rather, hitting the board. 2 for 10 here at Fairmount Park. Most races, most successful ones have been on the fast track. 9 for 39. Draws the Royal Trip and gets Corey Orm. Corey Orm again, another rider whose business is really picking up. And we're happy to see that. For those of you who were not maybe aware, Corey was involved in a pretty significant spill and been out of racing for almost a year and came back this meet. And he has really just picked up where he left off. Looking darn good. Horse is nice and relaxed and hoping for the best here. So 3, 5, 6, 1 is my selections here to start off the $1 pick 3 and the $1 pick 4. And our pick 5, we are using the 3 Dundee and the 5 Dylan Rocks. But I'm going to say for the Crocodile fans, let's go with Dundee in the winner's circle. Good luck.
$4,000 the sale price and or claiming price for these 3-year-olds and up that have not won 2 races in 2026. We sprint 3/4 of a mile, or they do. Scratch number 4, Scotch No Rocks. I have an announcement for you. Hey, you been getting into the World Cup? I really have, actually. Great game last night. We're off on the road to Morocco. Join us for the USA's next match coming up tomorrow night at 7, right at Longshots. It's your USA Soccer Watch Party headquarters. Cheer on Team USA and your chance to win exciting prizes like a Christian Pulisic jersey, Longshots gift cards, Fairmount Park swag. While you're watching, enjoy our $4 drink specials available throughout the game time. That's 7 o'clock kickoff. Longshots just across from the 8th pole on the home stretch. Post time just 2 minutes. Get those wagers in as soon as possible. One minute. Horses are approaching the starting gate. Less than 1 minute for the early dollar pick 4. Loading in for the second. Dylan Rock, Sonny is not so funny. Saturday's racing card same post as it ever was, 1:30 on this coming Saturday. Couple left to load. Juliazon is up, and so is Latin Casino. They look to be right in the gate. And they're off. Quick beginning in the center for Dundee, who shoots clear underneath the bug girl there. Sunny is not so funny to dictate terms along the rail. So early on, it's Sunny is not so funny, putting a length and a half on Dundee's second. Outside third is Dylan Rocks, passed on the inside by Latin Casino. Next in fifth is Good Scout, and then trailing them is the late running Juliazon by 10 lengths. Very quick quarter mile for Sunny is not so funny, has built up a 2.5 length lead. Dundee is coming up into second. Latin Casino still on the rail third. Under a drive, Dylan Rocks is passed by Good Scout. Wandering up on the far outside and backing out of it as Dylan Rocks had all kinds of traffic trouble by the 5/16 pole. They're past the quarter. It's Sunny is not so funny. Here comes Dundee for the lead. Inside rail completely open for Latin Casino, who means business. And down the grandstand part of the track is Good Scout. Juliazon interested, but it could be too late. Deep stretch. It's Dundee's race. It's Good Scout challenging in second, but it's Dundee will accept this award, a 2.5 length winner. Good Scout second, then it was Dylan Rocks, and Juliazon was fourth. Entering the winner's enclosure, winner of today's second race, number 3, Dundee. And jockey Johanna Sarangren. Co-owned by Charles Walker. That's Charles Ritter and Scott Becker. Boy, trained by Scott Becker. It's back-to-back wins. They sweep the early double. Dundee is a 6-year-old gelded son of Speightstown out of the distorted humor mare Humorous Miss, bred in Kentucky by Tom Keenan and Speightstown Syndicate. The winning time, 1:12 flat, 1:12.08 seconds. For Dundee, the 4 was scratched in race 2. Still not yet official. I can tell you the early daily double will pay $4.10. Now we are official. Exacta 660, trifecta much the same. Early double told you it was not $4.10, it was $4. 10-cent superfecta, $4.70. Race number 3, scratch out the 3s. Energy Unbridled. First time jockey, number 5, Instastar, and Brody Martinez will not be riding with a riding crop. We'll have the groom of the week after race 3 is made official. Again, scratch out number 3's Energy Unbridled. The distance 5 furlongs for $5,000 claimers, 3 and up that have not won 2 races. 18 minutes away.
Welcome back, everybody. 15 minutes to post for race number 3 here on this Horse Hooky Tuesday. Remember, hydration is the key this afternoon. Some good racing still coming up here in race number 3. Before we get to that, I want to say our groom of the week, Mario Tapia of the Fernando Bahina barn. He will be acknowledged after this race number 3. So congratulations from everyone at Excel Entertainment and Fairmount Park. Mario Tapia, the groom of the week. This is going to be a very interesting race, and I think a lot of us are going to be paying close attention to what appears to be the betting favorite. Let's take a closer look at the runners. 5 furlongs, excuse me, take that back. 5 furlongs the distance, as we're looking at a 5,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime. And again, a little shout out to our clerk of scales, Frankie Controne Jr., who is a birthday boy this afternoon. So happy birthday, Frank. We really appreciate everything you do. Let's talk about this field. I mean, I like the 5 Instastar. I think a lot of people do. I think we're all kind of rooting for one of our own. The second generation of the progeny here for Ralph Martinez and owner John Dant. Instastar sends out a 3-year-old Instagram. Martinez having a very strong meet, but more importantly, this will be the first time he's giving a leg up to his son, Brody Martinez, who will be making his debut. This horse has got some speed. I will not expect anything but speed. Jump this horse out on the front end. The only problem is this horse has not been able to finish in the last couple of races. And I know it's going from a non-winners 2 to a non-winners 2. However, in a racetrack like this, where there are a lot of conditions for the 5,000s, a lot of conditions for the 10,000s, I think it's a fairly significant drop. I think they're putting this horse and saying, look, let's just get the win. And if we can't get the win and somebody wants to claim, well, good luck to them. So it's one of those situations. I think that's how you'll play it. There is Ralph right there in the white with the shorts, making sure nice and cool for Instastar. Like I said, this horse has got speed, and if they choose to go, what I think is interesting, did you just see that crowd of people as they went by? Yeah, I won't be surprised if they're here for the favorite. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Hey, listen, all kidding aside, good luck, Brody Martinez. Safe trip, my friend. And as Keith Nelson mentioned, he will not be using a riding crop. Now, that may not be about Brody. That may just be the horse doesn't appreciate a riding crop. And that happens. I've seen plenty of horses on both coasts that will go in, but you got to tell their players ahead of time so they get that opportunity to know what's going on. Second horse for me is Tigersaurus Rex, the 7 here. Angel Stanley gets the call. Horse picks up a lot of checks. 1 for 27, 9 thirds, and a second. 1 for 15 at the distance. Can they win? I think they can, but something I think crazy has to happen. It's no besmirching the horse. It's an Oklahoma bred. It's just basically this is a horse who likes to pick up checks. Numbers-wise, the horse does stack up with the field. In fact, possesses a tie for the top Brisnet Speed Index for the distance. So I guess the question has been answered. Can they win? Yeah, they could, but they have to have a lot of things fall in their place. Pull our attention over to the 2, Come On Lady, for trainer Ben DeLong. This is a horse who's 1 for 6 in the winner's circle at the distance. DeLong looking for his 4th winner here at the meet. He's got some speed, but I have a feeling if they go out with Instastar, that's going to compromise them. They may try to go, but I can only count one race last May, last year, and they didn't win, but they were competitive making the lead. So, I don't know. This is kind of a head scratcher. I wrote tricky when I was handicapping this race. Rounding out the top 4 for yours truly, I'm going to put the 6. I Got the Moves for the Terry Burtis barn. This is a horse who broke maiden for 5 on June 2nd, was claimed off to Tony Blea. Came right back in a winners, non-winners of 2, and that's not an easy race to do. Never is. First time versus winners. Whole different type of animal you're now racing against. That race on June 20th, it wasn't good, it wasn't bad. It was just kind of one-paced around the track. I think if this horse is competitive, they're going to be involved earlier than what we've been seeing. Decent looking horse. Obviously, it's been hosed down like everybody else. If you're just joining us on the YouTube channel, warm temperatures this afternoon. Very humid, so we're thinking of these equine athletes. You got to get them up and ready and make sure that they are nice and hydrated and nice and cool. And if you're just joining us, yes, it's 9 minutes to post, but what we're going to be doing as we'll be doing all day long, is these horses are going to leave the paddock about 3 minutes to post and head straight for the gate. That way, there's no going around in circles. There's no getting a chance to overheat. Just get in there, let them do their thing, and let them get back to the barn. So, 5726. I got to put Instastar on top. All I can say is Brody Martinez and everybody in that group that came to see him, good luck.
Race number 3 to sprint 5 furlongs for a claiming price of $5,000 for 3-year-olds and up that have never won 2 races. After the 3rd race is made official, we'll stay in the winner's circle to give you today's Groom of the Week. In this 3rd race, scratch number 3 is Energy Unbridled. No whip will be carried by the rider of the 5 Instastar. Number 1 is I'm a Chunky Monkey for Dwayne Wells, owner and trainer, and Travis Wales is aboard. The 2, Cassie Corvin, the owner, trained by Ben DeLong. Come on, lady. The mare is ridden by Javier Diego. Number 3 is Scratched. Number 4 is Truest, running for Sharon Morgan. John Wainwright, the trainer. Victor Lara is aboard. Number 5, Instastar, co-owned by John Dant and Ralph Martinez. First-time rider. Give it up for Brody Martinez in the saddle. The 6, I Got the Moves. Carmelo Mendoza, the owner. Terry Burdess trains with Julio Felix in the 7. For Jody Durham and Mike Durham, Tigersaurus Rex and Angel Stanley. That's your field for the 3rd race. Post time coming up in less than 2 minutes. Field will head right to the 5 furlong starting gate and be loaded in. Just about a minute for all wagers in the upcoming 3rd. Final wagers for the 3rd. I'm a Chunky Monkey into stall 1, Instastar. And the debut of rider Brody Martinez to head up. I Got the Moves. Last one in, Truest. They're in the gate. And they're off. Good start on the inside position as I'm a Chunky Monkey. Out second is Come On Lady the Mare. Outside Tigersaurus Rex runs third. Rex back in fourth and fifth is Truest and Instastar. And the distant trailer from the far outside is I Got the Moves, who drops in behind, but woefully so. On the front, I'm a Chunky Monkey lines up with Come On Lady. On the three path is Tigersaurus Rex, and there goes Brody aboard Instastar to have the lead past the 550-yard mark. Back in fifth is Truest, nothing yet for I Got the Moves. Five of them still in a pretty much a line here. Down the crown of the course is Apprentice Instastar, taking them down the stretch. Truest takes over the run. Truest on the inside gaining. I'm a Chunky Monkey looking for a way through. Come On Lady. Here's Truest on the inside. Instastar gaining. From far back, I Got the Moves. Here's Tigersaurus Rex, but Truest to win. Beat Tigersaurus Rex, Instastar a good third, and then it was I'm a Chunky Monkey. Into the winner's circle for the second time in this, his 48th career start. Welcome back, Truest and jockey Victor Lara. Owned by Sharon Morgan, bred by Dr. Terry Morgan in Illinois, trained by John Wainwright, 7-year-old gelded son of Temple City out of the Sarlin mare, Lily Luna. Congratulations to the winning connections. $964.40, $3 across the board. The trifecta, $34.90. The exacta, $17.70. Race 2 and 3 daily double will get you back $11. 10-cent superfecta, $26.23. Trifecta, $34.90. Coming up back into winner's circle, I'd like to acknowledge the hardest working people on the backstretch workers. We have today from the Fernando Bahena barn, would you please welcome the groom of the week, Mario Tapia. Congratulations, Mario. Thank you for all the hard work. We appreciate you. From all of us at the HBPA and Fairmount Park, Mario Tapia, groom of the week. Race number 4, the 6 Epic Prankster 1 pound over. Field of 6, sprinting 6 furlongs. Post time coming up in 18 minutes.
13 minutes to post, race number 4. Welcome back, everyone, especially our friends who are watching, or maybe their first time watching on YouTube with the Fairmount Park page. What can I tell you? Fourth race, getting ready to roll here. This is a $1 pick 3 among other wagers being offered here. It's looking at a field, no scratches, so the field of 6, and an odds-on choice as expected on the outside. Let's get down to a closer look of the runners. Epic Prankster on the outside. I like, Keith likes, the world likes. They've got speed. They draw the outside on a race that doesn't have a ton of speed. I would think the horse to the inside, Looking Mighty Fine, might be the one who would go out with them. But this is an extreme advantage for this 3-year-old daughter of Munnings, whose grandsire was Speightstown. They've tried the distance once. They came in second. That was the aforementioned race on the middle of June. I don't see any reason to look away from this horse. Looks to be at a good spot. Obviously races into shape. Last recorded work was on 38-3 back on April 17th. So this is the kind of horse you just race into shape for Jimmy Watkins. Watkins hitting at 22% on the meet. And horse looks good. Coming over with the blinkers, as I've said before. First-time starters, a little bit of a concern, but this horse has 7 races under the belt. Has hit the board in 4 of the 7, so I'm assuming it just kind of keeps them nice and relaxed, and that's the key, especially on a day like this. You want to make sure these horses are nice and hosed off, hydrated, and so far everyone appears to be doing quite well this afternoon. Jonas Arengueren, she rides these kind of horses really well. She's able to get them out real easy, make the move, and then basically, hopefully, it's good enough. So he looks good. Ears kind of going back and forth. I'm sure he'll get his little another little spritzing as he comes over. Really hasn't run a bad race since March of this year. A synthetic race over at Turfway Park. In fact, was claimed for 30 that day. And since then, as expected, Watkins has been protecting this horse. They ran a maiden special weight, broke the maiden, got beat a nose against optional 20 group, and then was second best in that aforementioned optional 20 group, now winners of 2. Good spot. Let's talk about the 3-horse. She's fascinating. This one for the Arthur Coons stables. This horse was a runaway winner in New York at Aqueduct on January 23rd of 2025. Continued to race there until the 26th, formerly of the Tony Dutrow barn. The last 4 races were nothing to write home about, but to be fair, was against a much tougher group than they're going to be facing today. Shows up on a June 19th work after a 50-1 on the 13th, came back 6 days later with a 48-2. For these parts, that is a very good work. Kuntz has been knocking on the door with his runners, 7 starts, 2 seconds, and 3/3. This looks to be a very playable horse if you want to take the shot. Obviously, coming in from New York, is probably decisively against a much tougher competition than they would be facing today. But again, new surface, you don't know. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. 5-horse is Looking Mighty Fine, mentioned the other Jimmy Watkins. Now this is the other one we mentioned that would be giving Epic Prankster a test. However, I would not even expect at all that the two of them are going to run head-to-head together. That just doesn't happen. And if they do, then the trainer's going to have something to say. 3-year-old daughter of Stanford, the grandsire Malibu Moon. On the dam side, the sire Medaglia d'Oro. And even though the horse did not show much sprinting, or rather going 2 turns down Oaklawn Park while in the Cody Rosen barn, I would just tend to say eventually you're going to want to try 2 turns with this one again. Looks good. Very aware. Ears are going back and forth. Hasn't been tacked up yet, but they're waiting, as we mentioned. They're not coming on the track until about 3 minutes to post. Rounding out the top 4, Dance With Me Fiona. This 3-year-old daughter Flatter for Steve Fridley just broke the maiden on June 9th here and looked good doing it. I think is going to need some help up front if they're going to get it done. That's the problem. This is a horse who likes to drop back and make one move. They have one at the distance, but I honestly believe that she's going to need some help up front if she's going to be successful. So, 6, 3, 5, 4 is how I see it. This is starting off another $1 pick 3. 6 furlongs the distance. Optional claiming 20,000. Non-winners of 2 lifetime. Good luck.
About 4 minutes away from our 4th live race. Non-winners of 2 allowance optional claiming for 20. Fillies and mares 3 years of age and up. Wagering menu for race number 4, rolling pick threes, rolling daily doubles. You have superfecta, trifecta, exacta. Win, play, show wagering. 3 minutes. Six furlongs for fillies and mares. Race 4 in just about 1 minute. Approaching the starting gate. Final bets in the upcoming 4th race loading in. Midnight date. Dance with me, Fiona. Classy Emily thinking about it. Looking mighty fine, steps forward. She's fascinating. Epic Prankster. In the gate, flag is up. And they're off. Good beginning on the outside for Epic Prankster. Got the jump on him by 2.5 lengths. The rest are far behind. Classy Emily is second. She's fascinating in third. Fourth, and moving up well, is Looking Mighty Fine. Along the fence in fifth is Midnight Date. And last is Dance with Me, Fiona. Only 5.5 lengths separates this group. Still on the front Epic Prankster throws it down in 22 and 4/5 of a second. That's 22 and 3 for Epic Prankster. Out to a 2.5, almost 3-length lead. Looking mighty fine up for the place spot. She's fascinating as third, clinging. Classy Emily backs out along the fence. Here comes the come from behind hers, Dance With Me Fiona, and Midnight Date having traffic trouble. Past the quarter pole. It's been Epic Prankster ever since the gates opened. Epic Prankster still by 2.5, now 3 lengths. Right hand urging for Looking Mighty Fine second. Here comes Dance With Me Fiona, who's rolling up now, is definitely going to get second, but they're not going to catch Epic Prankster. 2 for Johanna Sarangarin, gonna run away and hide. Jim Watkins scores with Epic Prankster. Good second for Dance With Me Fiona. Classy Emily was third and Looking Mighty Fine. Race number 4 has gone official. Race 3 and 4 daily double. We'll get back to that. The 10-cent superfecta here in race number 4, $25.20. Pick 3 for races 2, 3, and 4, $19.40. Exacta, $12.50. And the trifecta, $43.90. Now appearing in the winner's circle. Number 6, Epic Prankster, and a riding double for apprentice rider Johanna Sarangarin. Owned by Albert Shoemaker Jr. James Watkins is the trainer. This is a 3-year-old daughter of Munnings out of the Distorted Humor Mary Prankster, bred in Kentucky by Pollock Farms. The winning time, 1:11 and 3, a minute 11 and 3/5 of a second, 72 100ths. In the 5th race, no changes to the program. We'll sprint 5 1/2 furlongs coming up. Illinois bred fillies and mares next.
12 minutes to post for race number 5 to kick off not only another $1 pick 3, but the late $1 pick 4. Welcome back, everybody, for all of you watching around the country, and those of you especially watching on YouTube, where we are now streaming. For all of you who have never tried it before, maybe on track right now and think, whenever I can't come here, it's kind of a bummer because I can't see the races. Well, now you can. All you got to do is go to YouTube. It's free. You just go right over. When it says, do you want to check in or sign in? At the bottom it says, or as a guest. Just hit as a guest. And then when it goes to search Fairmount Park horse racing. And it'll come right up. You'll get the date to click on, and you go live right with us. So it's not a bad way to go. Welcome to the future, everybody. Congratulations in that 4th race out to Epic Prankster, Jimmy Watkins, with the victory there. I thought the horse probably will just jump right out and never look back, and that's exactly what happened. We're not getting a ton of prices today, but sometimes, as I've always said, you just got to take what they give you. Meanwhile, we are looking at a 5.5 furlongs. Again, these are Illini bred, 20,000, non-winners of 3 lifetime. These are the ladies, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. And again, because they are state bred in the great state of Illinois, there is a $39,500 purse. Let's take a look at the runners down in the paddock. Interesting field, and I think speed again will be a prevalent way to look at this race. Still waiting on the one, Motown Renee, to come down, so we're going to go to the other horses while we're at it. There's the 2 horse. We got this one second, and this is Then, Now, and Always for trainer Larry Ravelli. This one formerly of the Michael Rivas barn. A 3-year-old daughter of Jimmy Creed, who has a winner, a second, and a third, and 3 lifetime starts at the distance of 5.5 furlongs. This horse has done well since coming here with a winner in 2 seconds. Was a 9-length winner back on May 12th, and then showed up in a non-winners of 3, which we're doing today, and was in a bit of a war the whole way around. Took over and then got caught at the wire. They were 7 in front of the rest of the crowd. So, like I said, it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to play where they play in. This horse looks to be in a good spot. The ears kind of pinned back a little, but they're going back and forth. So I think he's all right. I think you just want to make sure the horse is nice and cool. As we've mentioned, for those of you who aren't in the Collinsville area, expecting a heat advisory all week, including Saturday, the 4th of July. So remember, hydrating is your friend. And as much as beverages are great, remember always to have as much water as you can. That's the best way to go. I think this horse is probably going to be sitting right behind whoever does go. There's 2 that I think will be setting the early pace, and then 2 that will be sitting just off of them. And I think Then, Now, and Always will probably be one of them. Let's talk about the 4 horse. Tax Day Peyton, a 4-year-old Taprit, the grandsire Tappet from an On and Glory mare, owned and bred by Scott Becker and Charles Ritter. Horse does have a winner in a second and 5 lifetime starts at the distance. The win came on April 21st here against a non-winners of 2 group. They jumped up to a non-winners of 4, and you'd think, well, maybe not. You know what? It was just a little too tough for them. Came back down to the non-winners of 3, got in a bit of a pace hookup the whole way for the first half, and then just got a little tired down the stretch. Has the right to improve. The veteran, Victor Santiago. Santiago's business. I remember the first couple of weeks, he couldn't buy a winner. Now he's found himself at 16%. Not unexpected. One of the veterans of the core group. Looks to be in a good spot, nice and relaxed. You can see Scott Becker looking for another winner on today's card. I can tell you there is a Motown Renee sighting. I can see just coming right on down, as you can see. And there is the 3-year-old daughter of Motown. I have on top, I believe Keith Nelson also does. In fact, I came up with a really small pick 4 ticket. I'm singling in the first two legs. It's a $9 ticket. It's just the way it is. Like I said, sometimes you just gotta play the way they dealt it, and you just gotta try to find value. And if value means betting a $9 ticket, and let's say it pays $50, well, then you got 6-1 on your money. So that's all you can hope for. Some people, I think, get too crazy with well, if I can't bet, a $30 ticket and get back $700, it's not worth it. Well, if you're going to play on a regular basis, you're going to have these kind of days. You just got to make the most of them. On the Toes looks good. This 3-year-old daughter of Motown, of course, grandsire's Uncle Mo. The lone time they tried the 6 furlongs was here on June 2nd, and they absolutely ran away from the group. The reason why this is impressive is, yes, the horse absolutely destroyed them, coming off a little bit of a freshening from February to May, on May 5th, against state-bred maiden special weights. But that came right back against state-bred allowance group on June 2nd and did the exact same thing. And I remember seeing this horse that day, and I said, this is a horse who's probably going to be looking for a stake race. And I won't be surprised if after this race, if all goes well, that they start hunting for a stake race. She's a 3-year-old filly. Now, I'm not saying anything, but coming up in August is obviously the St. Louis Derby. And this might be a horse you would possibly see there. You never know. Ladies take on the boys. We do get some horses that come in from out of town, but this one has really shown some ability. And we'll see how it plays itself out. 5 horse, rounding out the top 4 for yours truly, is Halo Honey for Eddie Essenprice. Eddie with 2 here, 2 outsides, Hot Tomato and Halo Honey. Halo Honey put in a good second, 2 back. Now, granted, it was in the mud, so maybe that was what moved this horse up a bit. But they've been competing at this type of level for quite some time. Can I explain the last one? I just think they weren't fast enough to keep up on June 9th. Johannes Aringaren takes over. Now, there are no published works, but I think at this point, if you go back to those April works, it almost looked to me like they were trying to make a speed horse out of this one. April 23rd, they went 35-4, which pretty fast for this part. And since that April 28th race, they've never been that fast. So I'm curious if the fact that Johannes Aringaren is aboard is maybe an indication they're going to try the different tactics today. You never know. However, you kind of ask like you might be asking for it. Motown Renee has got one way to do it. Now, can she sit if somebody gets crazy? Yeah. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to roll right from the gate. So, 1, 2, 4, 5. No guesswork here. I am singling in the first leg of the late pick 4, Motown Renee, to get the money. Good luck.
Rolling daily doubles, you have rolling pick 3s. You have the late pick 4. Superfecta, trifecta, exacta, win, play, show wagering as well. Non-winners of 3, allowance optional claiming for 20. No changes to the race 5 program. Post time in just 3 minutes. The late $1 pick 4 starts in just under 2 minutes. Horses are speedily approaching the starting gate. Less than a minute for all wagers in the 5th. The horses have reached the starting gate. Illinois bred fillies and mares at 5 1/2. Heavily backed Motown Renee, Tax Day Peyton moves up. Remember, next live racing day will be this Saturday at regular time, 1:30 Central. Two left, Coley and Hot Tomato. They're in the gate. Flag is up. And they're off. A bit of a dip at the start for the speedy Tax Day Peyton. Along the fence is your favorite. Motown Renee is on hold courtesy of the jockey. There's Then, Now, and Always right up on the outside of the early leader. Halo Honey playing forward today is up into third with Coley in fourth along the fence. On the outside is Hot Tomato, and trailing after a balking start is Tax Day Peyton, who's 8 lengths, now 9 lengths off the dueling pair. Motown Renee, Then, Now, and Always. On hold is Halo Honey. On the move, Coley is not finding a better path. Hot Tomato is gaining with right hand urging, and still last is Tax Day Peyton. Match race on paper, match race on the course. Motown Renee nearest the tote board side. On the outside of that, Then, Now, and Always, they're deadlocked in battle, still third throughout. Halo Honey, there's Motown Renee asserting and will win handily at 1-5 by just over a length. Then, Now, and Always. Then it was Halo Honey, and Tax Day Peyton finished up nicely for fourth. 1254 now official. Into the winner's circle steps your favorite, Motown Renee and jockey Alexander Bendezu. Owned and branded Illinois by Catalano Thoroughbreds Incorporated, Wayne Catalano and his wife Renee Catalano, the breeders of this 3-year-old gray daughter of Motown out of the Creative Cause mare Shelby Renee. The winning time, 5 1/2 furlongs, a minute 5 1/5 of a second, a minute 5.24. 260, 210, 210. Pick 5. I won't go into it. The pick 4, early variety, $34.60. Sixth race, scratch out the 3 Hanabi and the 6 Amour de la Vie. 3 and 6 are out. Post time coming up for the 6th race is in 18 minutes.
13 minutes to post for race number 6. Welcome back, everybody, as we're getting ready for that late pick 3 here on the card. And as far as the field is concerned, interesting field to go into, though. I'm singling again, but not singling what is currently the 1 to 5 favorites. So that'll be very interesting to take a look at. Let's get a closer look at the field, shall we? As far as the field is concerned, I really was under the impression that the 7 horse Nandina would go off as the favorite. Now, obviously, we have 12 minutes to go, so that could change even as we speak. But what do you do? What do you do? I think that you got to go with the speed on the outside. This 5-year-old daughter of Sharp Azteca was a winner by 4. Last time out, in a non-winners of 2, June 6th, 47 and 3. February 16th was the last time this horse worked. So this is another one. Like I said, the Decker barn, just like the Watkins, once the race meet is rolling, they kind of just race them into shape. That's like the best way to put it. So I think this is the horse you got to beat. Alexander Bendesu looking for another winner on the card. This horse was a runaway winner and is 2 for 5 at the distance, but it's kind of like an all or nothing as far as the distance of 6 furlongs is concerned. They draw the outside on a race that really doesn't have anybody who's a guaranteed front runner. I think it's going to be them on the outside, but drawing the outside post, and obviously with the 2 scratches, brings it a field of 5. They can kind of sit back, and if nobody goes, they go. If not, they're just going to sit on the flank of whoever does. Move our attention over to the 2 horse, and that is Wildwood Triple, the other Scott Becker, 6-year-old daughter of Galib, for owner-breeder William Sturritz. Bit of a project here, but I think they're finally saying enough is enough. Let's drop this horse down, and if somebody wants him, they take him. This horse has been competing since 2024 at the optional claiming Illini bred level, and did well in 2024, but since then it's just been a completely different situation. So I think this is a horse that probably makes a lot more sense. I don't expect to see big prices. The problem with that 2 to 5 is it's going to, well, I shouldn't say the problem. For those of you who maybe like Wildwood Triple today, you're going to get a good price. Because whenever they're bet that low, you always try to figure out, okay, so who should we be playing? Who's getting played regardless? And right now that answer is no one. Move our attention to the 4 horse, and that is No Pay, No Hay for Steve Manley. Travis Wales, the rider. Looks to be in a good spot here. Was a tough beat second, 2 back on April 28th. Then they opted to go to Prairie Meadows with this one for John Maroney and owner Merritt Hudson. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad. It was just kind of a once around the track in the back of the pack. I don't think this is what this horse wants. I think this horse wants to be close. Not on the lead, mind you, but I think they want to be close. And if you go, you have to go back to last summer. In fact, June 10th of last year. That's exactly what they did. They sat right off the pace, and then they ran away from him under Travis Wales. They did work June 19th, which I thought was interesting, and they put in a 48 and 2. Hence why I'm using this horse in the late pick 3. I think it makes a lot of sense. Good luck to John Maroney and owner Merritt Hudson. Maroney goes back and forth between here and Southern California, and we are so glad he has horses here at Fairmount Park, which is kind of a home track for him. Rounding out the top 4 is the 5 horse In Golden Road. 6 to 1 currently. Didn't look good in the last one. That was a starter back in October. They tried Churchill Downs. That was not easy. It didn't work out for them. However, they do have a win at the distance. 4 of 7 hitting the board. 5 of 8 with a winner here at Fairmount Park. That was aforementioned August 30th of last year, and a non-winner's a 2. So honestly, this horse fits also for trainer Arthur Coons. So it's one of those situations. There's a lot of ways to look at it. You could single. I had a feeling the odds were going to change up. I'm curious where that money came in early on the aforementioned 4. Yes, they can definitely win this race, but I thought the 1-9, that was extremely low. But again, in pools like this, somebody bets $1,000, it really affects the pool early. Now we'll just see how it comes out the rest of the time. So 7-2-4-5 is how I see it. I'm also going to use the 2-4-7 in the late pick 3. Yes, we are singling the 7 in that pick 4 ticket. Didn't have a lot of confidence, so I went really small on that ticket. But we're going to go 2-4-7 in this pick 3. Going to put the 7 on the outside, Nandina for the Becker Barn on top. Horse will be coming out on the track momentarily. Good luck.
Race number 6, $10,000. The claiming price for these fillies and mares, 3 years of age and up, that have never won 3 races. Scratch number 3, Hanabi, and number 6, Amour de la Vie. The final dollar pick 3 starts in 4 minutes. Still have 1 minute for all wagers in the upcoming 6th. Next live racing card will be this coming Saturday, back at the regular time at 1:30 in the afternoon. Hope you can join us. Watch party for the World Cup game featuring the USA tomorrow night at 7 o'clock inside Longshots Bar and Grill, right across from the 16th pole. Hope you can join them. All kinds of stuff to give away. Christian Pulisic jersey, gift cards, and everything else. So bring your friends down to Longshots tomorrow to root on the USA. Tomorrow evening, horses are headed towards the starting gate. Miss Kitty Pie always one, two. For the gate crew to load in first. Not much problem today. The rest will be loaded in directly. Final wagers for the 6th. Waiting on Wildwood Triple. Into Golden Road. Last in will be Nandina. In the gate. Flag is up. And they're off. Miss Kitty Pie reared at the start. Nandina, your favorite, gets out, but Wildwood Triple trying to dictate terms underneath and has that lead away from your favorite, Nandina second. Back in third and fourth, No Pay, No Hay. On the outside of She is Into Golden Road, and that start has Miss Kitty Pie way, way back. Past the half-mile pole they go. No pace on for this. Wildwood Triple, who's dropping now down to this level, has a length and a quarter on the oncoming Nandina. Nandina going to force the issue up top. No Pay, No Hay, Into Golden Road in their own little match race, and still out the back is Miss Kitty Pie. Jockey takes a look back. Nandina has more in the tank. Wildwood Triple retreats along the inside. On the wide outside is Into Golden Road, who might be a challenge late. Dropping off Wildwood Triple, it's all Nandina. Nandina out by 2 with right hand urging, but is just cruising home. Nandina never really took a deep breath, gonna win by 4. Wildwood Triple a good second. Into Golden Road, No Pay, No Hay, and Miss Kitty Pie. Five of the 6 races won by stout parimutuel wagering favorites today. Nandina adding to that. She comes back 6 furlongs in 1:11 and 3/5 of a second, a minute 11 and 6/6 100ths. That's 66 100ths. 7-2, 1-5 over 15-1. See if that improves that exacta coming back. Race number 7 to go 6 furlongs, scratch the 4 Tricky Moment and the 7 Alvin. 8th and final race, scratch number 3 Wampus Kitten. Those are your changes for the late daily double. Into the winner's circle steps Nandina and jockey Alex Bendezu. His second winner on the card. It is Scott Becker's 3rd training victory. Charles Ritter and Scott Becker are the ownership of this 5-year-old daughter of Sharp As Tech out of the Mineshaft mare, Spinneret, bred in Kentucky by Shortleaf Stable. 3 and 6 were scratched from race number 6. Seventh race comes up in 17 minutes. Get those wagers in as soon as possible for race number 7.
10 minutes to post for race number 7 to start our late daily double. Welcome back, everybody, here at Fairmount Park, and especially those of you watching on the YouTube channel. Reminder, coming up on Saturday, back to the 1:30 post, 8 race card as we celebrate the 250th edition of July 4th right here in this country. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure there'll be all kinds of things going on that day. You are going to want to be coming by to see us. And if you can't, obviously, you'll have us covered right here on YouTube. Let's get right to the racing here. It's a 6 furlong, 62.50 non-winners of 4 lifetime. Let's take a look at the runners. Getting close. Horse right in front of us there is the 5. It's been one of those days, man. I figured at 3 to 1, maybe we'd get a little bit of a price, but it doesn't seem to be the case no matter where we go, man. Warriors of Gold, Jimmy Watkins. I think he's got a second winner in him today. 4-year-old gelded son of Dialed In. Johannes Aringeren gets the call again. She ran away from the field last time out in a non-winners of 3, and she's taking the logical progression forward to the non-winners of 4 with this 4-year-old gelded son of Dialed In. The horse has got the speed in the race. I think Honest Al for Amy Nesbitt, who was the 3 to 2 morning line favorite on the program, could be second best, but I'm going to stick with Warrior of Gold. Again, nice warm afternoon. Not happy you saw that just then. That was a horse basically telling his groom, hey, I'm annoyed here, pal. Get me some water. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's Jimmy Watkins right there, and he's just kind of giving this horse a nice little cooling down. And they enjoy that. They really do. Yeah, you don't want to see him striking the groom. That's not a good thing either, but doesn't seem to be too annoyed one way or the other. And is now coming over, getting ready to get tacked up. But yeah, little on the muscle this morning, or I should say this afternoon, with this 4-year-old son of Dialed In, whose pop is Mine Shaft, the Bernstein mare Gold Celebrity. And this one in a partnership. 2 for 5 at the distance in the winner's circle. 3 for 5 hitting the board. Has a good record here at Fairmount Park. 9 starts. 7 of the 9 have hit the board, 2 of which in the winner's circle. I think it makes a lot of sense in this race. Unfortunately, I did not plan on even money. But again, I'm not the one making him even money. Move our attention to who I thought was going to go favorite, Honest Al, the 2 horse for Amy Nesbitt. 3 to 2 on the morning line, overlay of 3 to 1, but that definitely, like we saw in the last race, could change. It was against Allowance Company last time out on May 30th. Really didn't start rolling until the end. Didn't make up a ton of ground, but definitely made up some ground. I don't expect to see the horse that far back this time. I think this horse will be closer up. When this horse is a length and a half and closer the first quarter, they're 2 for 2. Once at Turfway on the synthetic, once at Fairmount Park here on April 28th. In fact, that day was claimed off of Bendalong by Amy Nesbitt. Victor Lara gets the call. Lara was aboard 2 back when the horse won, going 5 furlongs. And also my speed, the extra furlong may not be what it wants to do. 0 for 6 at the distance with a second and a third. But I still think if you were playing the pick 3s, pick 4s, this was a horse you definitely wanted to use. By the way, it is of note, Keith Nelson digging a 20 to 1 shot in Solomon Vandy. Just want to mention that. 9 to 1 currently. Way to go, Keith Nelson. I like the cut of your jib, son. Third selection for me will be the 9 Shaggy Edge. This is a 5-year-old competitive edge. Had a good first and second in April and May here against 5,000 non-winners of 3 and 15,000 non-winners of 3. Tried the allowance group. That didn't work. Going 2 turns. They tried the 2 turns again on June 16th for a non-winners of 4. That definitely didn't work. Was walked off the track that day. I think that the barn is being smart. They're just putting the horse back down where they think they can win, or at least get their best chance. This is one of three I'm using in the pick three. I think makes total sense. Probably will be better off if there's an early pace hookup, and there very well may be. Rounding out the group for the top four for mine, Party in the Streets, the one, Fernando Bahina, Javier Tavares. Fernando owns this horse himself, so he can put him wherever he wants with the 6-year-old son of Street Strategy. 2 for 19 at the distance in the winner's circle, 5 for 19 hitting the board. Did most of his racing at Oaklawn Park and Prairie Meadows while in the Timothy Martin barn. Was a winner right off the bat in the mud here on May 19th. And then tried a starter group, probably just a little too tough, and was just never a factor in the race. It was well meant by the public, but just wasn't a factor. Gray, by the way. Definitely a good-looking gray. So, 5-2, 9-1 for yours truly. We're using the 2, 5, and 9 in the pick 4 and the pick 3. And all I can say is for those of you who want to take a shot against the favorite, it's going to pay extremely well if you are correct. Horses will be coming on the track momentarily. Good luck.
Post time for the 7th, and, well, the late double comes up in just 3 minutes. These are 3-year-olds and up that have never won 4 in their lifetime. 4, Tricky Moment, and 7, Alvin, have been scratched. Just under 2 minutes for all bets in the 7th. Field of 7, headed towards the starting gate. Loading in. Party in the Streets, Honest Al. Warrior of Gold, Solomon Vandy already in. Aspiring Comedian, T-Law. Last, Shaggy Edge. They're in the starting gate. Flag is up. And they're off. A stutter step start for Warrior of Gold. Out very well from the inside is Honest Al. Warrior of Gold is up there nonetheless, and so is T-Law. These three in a firing line with Shaggy Edge in fourth and on the outside. Running back is Solomon Vandy, passed by Party in the Streets. An aspiring comedian has to do a little bit better and is about 5 or 6 paths off the inside rail. They bunch up. The top quartet do. It's Warrior of Gold just by a head. Honest Al, as your even money chalk, is dancing towards the inside fence. Right together from the outside stalls are T-Law and Shaggy Edge as they roll past the 550. On the move is the gray Party in the Streets. On that one's outside is Aspiring Comedian and nothing from Solomon Vandy, who's at least on the rail. They head into the straight. Past the 3/16. It's Honest Al by a length over Warrior of Gold. Nothing coming to interrupt the top two. It's all Honest Al. Amy Nesbitt to score here. Honest Al, a good win by 4 lengths over Warrior of Gold. Then it was a while back to Aspiring Comedian who ran on for third. And then Solomon Vandy completes the super. Reporting to the winner's circle, winner of today's 7th race at even money, number 2, Honest Al, and jockey Victor Lara with a riding double, owned by Dale Gestis. Trained by Amy Nesbitt, Honest Al is a 5-year-old gelded son of Always Dreamin' out of the Speightstown mare, Bijan, bred in Kentucky by CHC Incorporated. Finishing time, 1:11.73 seconds. The exacta $6.10, trifecta $21.10, 10-cent superfecta just shy of $30. Pick 3 for races 5, 6, and 7, $2.90. 8th and final race, scratch the 3, Wampus Kitten. Post time for the 8th and final at 5 1/2 furlongs. Fillies and mares. It's a starter allowance coming up in 17 minutes.
11 minutes to post to our 8th and final. Welcome back, everybody, on this rather warm and humid day. But we got through it. We got through it. One more race to go. A reminder, on Saturday, not only is the 4th of July, it is the 250th of our nation's independence. So we want to make sure, if you're not already with plans, please come on out to Fairmount Park. We'd love to see you. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of fun stuff going on, and we want you to be part of that. For this 8th and final, yeah, we're live in the Pick 4 and the Pick 3, but we call it what it is. It ain't going to be paying much. But for the sake of the exercise, let's check things out. 5.5 furlongs the distance, starter 5,000 group. Let's take a look. Looking at the field, I got to go to the outside. And unfortunately, yeah, I told you at the beginning of the day, I thought it looked like a very formful day. There have been one or two exceptions, but for the most part, that's exactly what it's been. Race to the finish for Scott Becker and Alexander Bendesu for Scotty's longtime partner, Mr. Charles Ritter. This is a 9-year-old mare. I always say it's interesting because mares, I mean, they can go, but usually once they get to be about 7, the clock is running. And it's not physically, it's that they finally just, it's in their DNA that they say, you know what, I'm done racing. I think I want to be a mom now. So this one hasn't. This one has been racing. In fact, rattled off this year already on April 14th and April 28th, 2 winners before a 4th place finish against Open 10 last time out. They come right back. They draw an outside post. The only problem with this race is, even with the 2 scratches that I thought were significant, the 3 Wampus Kitten and the 4 Fast and Happy, there's a fair amount of speed in this race. But again, to their advantage, race to the finish draws the outside post. She's good looking. She's well put together. She looks nice and relaxed. Ears kind of going back and forth, all positive signs. I think it's definitely the horse you got to beat. Move your attention over to the 2, Isabel Ludlow, 6-year-old daughter of Grayson, Clay Lau, the owner and conditioner. Last time out showed absolutely nothing, but that was an optional 20 allowance, non-winners of 2. Much tougher than they're facing today. They go into a 4,000 non-winners of 1 in a year 2 back, and they were a winner. Mountaineer, they were claimed off of 1 Pablo Silva, and a 4,000 non-winners of 3, which they won. So this horse knows how to win. 7 for 33 with 10 seconds and 5/3. 4 for 10 in the winner's circle at the distance of 6 furlongs, 8 of the 10 hitting the board. The Brisnet Speed Index numbers shake out. This horse makes a lot of sense. If you want to take a stand against the 9-5 favorite, this to me would be one of the more likely horses you might want to select. Move our attention over to the 6, What's Crackin' for Harry Lynch. Claimed for 5,000 on May 23rd off of Heather Arian and a win that day. Showed up for that Open 10 condition, which can be very salty around here, and was in a war the whole way around and ended up 3rd in a field of 7. So this is another one. If you want to take a stand against the favorite, this might be the way to go. Johannes Aurengaren looking for a 3rd winner on today's card. It's a 5-year-old daughter of McCracken, who's 4 for 6 hitting the board at the distance, a winner, a 2nd, and 2/3. 2 for 5 here at Fairmount Park with a 3rd. So I can understand if you like this horse, and they've got speed. Again, this is kind of what a lot of apprentices, but Johannes Aurengaren in particular does very well. All right, now, I had a horse that I listed as my long shot of the day, and I think it's more of the scratches than anything else, but this horse is getting played, and that is the 1, Scrapbook. Fernando Bahina with his 8-year-old daughter of Interactive. The blinkers go on. It was kind of a 1-pace, 2nd place finish in the mud last time out, but that was coming off races at Delta Downs and Louisiana Downs. So this Louisiana bred mare comes up here. I don't know if it was a private purchase. I don't have any information on it. But she looked decent after being steadied on the turn in the mud. I think she deserves to look at again, and she's getting played right now. You think 14 to 1 longest shot, that's not good. Well, she was 30 to 1 on the morning line. They gave her no shot. I can't say that's the end all be all. In fact, I love to go against them when they do give no shot. But I thought this was a horse you might want to consider, at least for the exotics. If you're playing the exotics, might be the way to go. Definitely might be the way to go. Javier Tavares, his business is definitely picking up. And to add all this together, June 23rd, she worked 35-3. Pretty much anywhere in the country, that's a pretty darn good 3 furlong work. Now, obviously, that could just be a let's wake this one up. Let's get some flying done. Why not? I think it makes a lot of sense. Again, did not put this horse on top, did not put it second or third, but I think if you're looking, you got a couple extra bucks on you, this one is a must use. Horses are getting ready to come out on the track. That's going to do it for me, but we will be back on the 4th of July celebrating the United States and America's 250th birthday. It's going to be tremendous. You're going to want to be here on track. For Keith Nelson, one more race for him to call. All the folks here behind the scenes doing an amazing job, and of course, all the things that are happening around the country on Excel Entertainment and all of you watching on YouTube channel. For everyone here at Excel Entertainment, thank you so much for being with us. Good luck in the nightcap, and we'll see you again, win, lose, or draw, on the 4th of July here on Saturday. Good night.
Just been told by the stewards we have a late scratch. Thank you, Judge. Ladies and gentlemen, please be aware that number 8, Hialeah Hottie, has just been scratched from the 8th and final race. The upcoming 8th race scratch, number 8, Hialeah Hottie, as well as the 3, Wampus Kitten and Fast and Happy already announced. Late scratch of the 8, Hialeah Hottie. If you have the 8 in your late doubles, you'll receive a consolation double. Pick 4, race time favorite. Hialeah Hottie, a late scratch. We'll have just a couple of minute delay added to this. Do have a couple of claims for you. In our last race, race number 7, the winner, Honest Al, number 2, was claimed by the new co-ownership of Francis E. Bustani and Cassie Corvin. The new trainer of the 2, Honest Al, will be Benjamin DeLong. Number 8, Tila, was claimed for also $6,250 by new owner and trainer Ida Spagnola. Last race of this sultry day, we have the late scratch of the 8 Hialeah to go along with the 3 Wampus Kitten and the 4 Fast and Happy, already scratched from this race. It's a filly and mare starter allowance for $5,000. And you probably can't hear me due to the music. So here we go. They'll be headed to the starting gate in about 2 minutes. Fillies and mares headed to the starting gate for 5.5 furlongs in our 8th and last. Less than a minute. And a very happy birthday one more time to our clerk of scales, Frankie Catrone. Thank you for doing what you do, Frankie. Appreciate it. 8th and last race loading in, minus the 3 scratches and the late scratch of Hialeah. 8 races coming up when we meet again on Saturday. So join us for a regular time at 1:30. Still got a couple left. On a counter and race to the finish. They're in the gate. Flag is up. And they're off. Perfect start. Out very well from an outside stall is Race to the Finish, who gets the initiative from What's Crackin' up underneath in second. Third along the fence is Isabel Ludlow. Those three right together. Running fourth is a very good spot and good-looking Reba Attack, who's still about the four-path of the inside rail. On a counter is gaining up ever so slightly. And last there is Scrapbook, who has about 10 lengths to maneuver. On the front, the new leader around the turn, Isabel Ludlow, has raced to the finish. On the outside, moving up, is Reba Attack third, overhauling What's Crackin', who now backs off in fourth. Running well back in fifth, trying to gain up some kind of ground from far back, is Scrapbook, and toiling back there is On a Counter. They're into the straight in our get-out race. Three of them still line up. Isabel Ludlow has to deal with Race to the Finish. Here's Reba Attack, and on the inside rail, fighting back is What's Crackin'. It's Isabel Ludlow. It's Reba Attack. It's Isabel Ludlow. Reba Attack. Isabel Ludlow scores in the eighth and last. Reba Attack second. It was Race to the Finish third, and What's Crackin'. Race 8 now official. The late daily double, $9.10 for the 2 with 2. The late pick four, $29.60. Superfecta 10 center, $11.68. Three, 4, and 8 did not race. Late pick 3, $26.50. And into the winner's circle steps Isabel Ludlow and jockey Victor Lara having a day. 3 on the card for the 7-pound apprentice. Isabel Ludlow is owned and trained by Clay Locks. 6-year-old gray daughter of Grayson out of the Bernstein mare Your Cheatin' Heart, bred in California by Nick Alexander. 3, 4, and 8 were scratched. The 8 was a late scratch. Our many thanks. The consolation double, 2 with 8, who was scratched, $2.70. The exact of $31 and a dime. We thank you all for enduring the heat. Stick around if you wish. Got soccer on at Long Shots tomorrow, starting at 7 o'clock with the USA game. coming out and enjoy some prizes to be raffled off or, given away. We appreciate your patronage like always, and we'll do it better again, or do it better next time on Saturday at 1:30 Central.